Hey man, what's happening? It's your boy Cool Water, the digital dope man, with another episode in the Barroom Chats podcast, where we focus on topics in the area of entertainment, politics, business, culture, health, and education. Tonight, we're going to take a deep dive into a topic that everybody's been thirsty and talking about, and that's Jay-Z and the NFL and the deal he did with the NFL recently, which a lot of people are from the black culture real upset with Jay-Z and calling him a sellout, yada yada yada. So, we need to talk about that, man. So, it's Cool Water, the digital dope man. I'm going to be your guide, your host on this Barroom Chats podcast. And talk about some things that we need to talk about in order to delve into it even further. So, a few short days ago, many of you may not know that Jay-Z, his company, Roc Nation, has done a deal with the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell in bringing his artists to the NFL to perform and do shows and things of that nature. So I think a lot of people are very, very upset with Jay-Z because they want the social component. They feel like Colin Kaepernick has not been given his just due for standing up for injustice in America. And Jay-Z has not proven that he is about injustice because he's reneged on some of his previous statements about, we don't go to the NFL, they come to us, we fill stadiums too, yada, 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 yada. So, my personal opinion, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, because I talked to one of the bros last night. Number one, Jay-Z is an entertainer. He is not a social advocate, a leader of black people dealing with black issues. That's the number one thing that we got to stop doing. You want to put the athlete, the ball player, the skateboarder in the position of being the guy or gal who typically has some means by which they do for Black America. They're not those people. Like I told one of my partners last night, what have you seen Jay-Z do that was socially inclined to improve the lifestyle and culture of Black America? He been robbing and raping the culture, man, since they started Rockefeller Records. I mean, it's been with the liquor, it's been with the clothes, the music. It's been, I'm a drug dealer. I did this, I did. Nothing has been advantageous and uplifting, if you really want to be honest, where people can actually take it and manifest it and turn it in, unless you look at the business side of what he's trying to do and has done along the way. So many people looking at Jay-Z as a sellout, and feel like, how you speaking on behalf of black folks when it comes to social issues, because you should have not made that statement as it relates to whether or not, we done with the issue. Colin Kaepernick, like I said before, Colin Kaepernick made a choice to do justice. Jay-Z is making a choice to do capitalism. Ain't neither one of them wrong. You just got to decide on which team you playing for, because justice don't necessarily pay the bills. Capitalism does, if you do it right. You see what I'm saying? A lot of folks are not, and particularly black folks, are not real happy when they see you making money and they ain't got access to do the same. So it's a lot of hating going on with Jay, because Jaden, he bubbling. He's supposedly the newest billionaire, yada, yada, yada. He got ventures in real estate and entertainment, music. I don't know if he's doing clothing, liquor, or what have you, but he has a diversified portfolio. So the average is like, oh man, that's what's happening, that's what's up. It's good to see the brother get the money, but then quietly on the backside, you low key you dry at the mouth because you like, damn man, you know what I'm saying? This nigga, he making his money rapping and talking about selling drugs, and I'm over here busting my ass and I'm doing the 9 to 5, every day, and I'm not in a position to be able to really see the fruits of my labor the way I would like to see the fruits of my labor. So Jay-Z sitting down with Roger Goodell and saying the statement that he said about, it's cool. I'm in favor of the issue. I know what the issue is. Don't we know what the issue is? At some point we have to move past the issue. Touched a lot of people because they feel like the issue ain't never been dealt with. Cause Colin ain't playing. The two brothers that's in the league that actually did continue to take a knee. I think one of them was reprimanded as well. He may not be playing. And it puts people who are NFL lovers in a compromising position. Do I support the league because I want to support my team, or do I stick to the side of social justice because there's so many injustices going on? Let me give you my opinion, man, because this is all it is. And this is through the research. This is through my own reading. This is through my own beliefs. One, Jay-Z don't owe nobody nothing. Let's get that understood. Your injustice or the freedom that you seek only is going to come by your own hands. You have to be diligently working towards that. If you ain't been doing nothing, man, if you ain't been doing shit before Jay-Z got to deal with the NFL, you ain't gonna do shit after. It's so many entertainers out there, man, that's sitting on money, ain't did shit. They might quietly throw some turkeys out there. They might quietly do something on the low, but they ain't out here fighting the oppressed. Fighting oppression for the oppressed. So now Jaden went to the table of the people that he considered. First of all, when you look at, first of all, let me say this. With all industries, just like yesterday, I was watching TV show Mahogany, the movie, Diana Ross, Billy D. Williams. Mahogany was a fashion designer. Mahogany wanted to be, she wanted to be big time. She wanted to blow up. She wanted to be worldwide. She was hustling. Everybody in America was giving her the shake. Everybody in America that was white-controlled companies was like, yo, yeah, I don't understand that. What is this? One white boy said, do you know how to answer phones and take shorthand? She looked at that motherfucker and was like, kiss my ass. She walked out. So she gets the call from some cats who is fashion designer from over there in Europe, Rome. So her and Billy D got back together, and then she said, man, I'm going to go live my dreams. So she went to live her dreams, and immediately when she had to go before the board, it was all white men, one white lady, and the white men talked about her like a dog. Breast wasn't big enough. Look at her legs, her skin, her face, yada, yada, yada. So the white girl ended up reneging on all of them and put her on because she was supposedly above all them anyway. But the moral to the story is Mahogany had to go through the white infrastructure in order to become the premier Madonna in fashion in Europe. So the white dude that she was connecting with, the photographer, she had to go through him. She had to go through another guy in order for her to get it presented. Now they was in favor because they wanted the skill. She had the skill set. Okay, at the end of the day, she blew up. She got that. But then she started realizing that it ain't all what she thought it was. Billy D came to see her, and he was like, man, what's going on? Then the white dude that she had actually slept with, that was the photographer, turned out to be a lunatic. If you remember Norman Bates, that horror movie there, it was the dude that played that. He was in there, and he was acting like a lunatic in that, you know. So, all of that to say that the NFL was ran and controlled by white billionaires. I mean, it don't make no difference if you was taking a knee. It don't make no difference if you you know, at the end of the day, wanted to do something totally obsolete or whatever the situation was. You still got to go through their infrastructure. You still got to bow down because he who has the money makes the rules. So, like I was saying, and we said last year and the year before, all that taking a knee, all y'all boycotting the TV, that's not impacting the NFL because there is no plan. Y'all had no plan. There was no plan to impact the NFL financially. Yup, you can stop watching TV. That might that might do a little something to the ratings. But there are more individuals that are not black watching the NFL than there are black people watching. If we 13% of the population, it don't matter. You can turn your TV off. Doesn't matter. You got another 86, 85, 87%, let's say 87% of the population that's actually watching the game, if they football fans, don't make no difference what you do. There was no contrived boycott with an executed plan to impact the NFL. So here we go again. We put the burden on Jay-Z. We want Jay to do something now. Jay over there, him and Beyonce, they making money. They stacking. They getting their name solidified in the heavens. They bubbling. You feel me? Jaden sat down at the table and like, shit, I'm going to keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, we all talking rhetoric. Now, people say, one of the homeboys said, well, who is he helping? Because it look like he exploiting black people. You know, he coming up at the hands of black folks. No, the corporation is coming up at the hands of black folks. Jay worked for the corporation. They've been exploiting us from day one. Take Jay-Z out of it, it'll be somebody else. Take that somebody else out of it, it'll be somebody else. They've been exploiting us since we was on Wall Street getting traded as slaves. It's nothing new. To get emotionally involved in what Jay-Z doing is ludicrous. See? So you won't call the man a sellout. He been sold out. If you sign a record deal with a record contract with a major record label, you gonna sell out to a degree because they ain't in the business of making money. You can be what you want to be, but if you ain't bringing in no dollars, they gonna send you on your way. Your record contract will become null and void. You understand what I'm saying to you? Jay-Z had a line back a long time ago where he said something like, I wish I could do like Talib Kweli, but I got to do it this way. Now look at where Talib Kweli is. He ain't making no impact. He don't have the reach that Jay-Z got. Don't nobody talk about Talib Kweli like that. Don't nobody talk about Common like that. Don't nobody talk about poor righteous teachers like that. These dudes played their hand differently. Jay played his hand differently. So he letting the money talk. Now, am I saying Jay-Z is right or wrong? No, I'm not saying either or. But there may be a situation where Jay can go in and then he can actually sit down with Roger and say, well, look, man, the bullshit got to stop. Dude ain't did nothing that was impactful enough for y'all to be keeping him out the league. Like, he ain't made no damage. What's going on is the white superiority complex and kicked in, and these folks that's in the league that own these teams, including Donald Trump, want to make sure that you Negroes know that y'all are employees. You're paid to perform. You get performance-based pay. You understand what I'm saying? So make an example out of one. The rest of y'all stay in line because you don't want your water cut off. Now, he done been disciplined. He done been blackballed, as they say. He'll come back, but when? That's the question. So Jay-Z is playing the game differently. A lot of people want Jada holler Colin Kaepernick, stand behind Colin Kaepernick. Sometime, man, you got to play the hand that you dealt and move in a different way. Like he said, and I agree with the brother. Don't we know what the issue is? We know what the issue is. Do you know what the issue is? I know what the issue is. Okay, now, when do we move past it? Now, that was an opinion. Somebody like Pete Rock didn't feel like that was a good opinion because he's like, who are you to speak for us? But at the end of the day, where have you been, Pete Rock? See what I'm saying? Where have you been, the rest of you all who got this strong opinionated belief, who don't like nothing that makes money? See, if you about this life and you about social change, you was on your shit before you got the billion. Jay-Z ain't never been on that since he got to the money. Since he been multi-millionaire, he ain't never been about the social change and uplifting the black people, man. Dude been quiet. Dude been laying low. Dude been sitting over there stunting and shining. He ain't never been about that. You take somebody like that. The same way y'all feel about him is the same way y'all could say the same thing about Ice Cube. He over there doing business with the establishment, but everybody know Cube was about that life because he put it in his records. He was about Kill Sam. He was about be true to the game. You know what I'm saying? He was about America's Most Wanted. He was about Death Certificate. You know what I'm saying? He was about making sure that you knew I'm taking on America. He went that route with it. So when we see Cube coming up, it's, oh man, this Cube doing it. Jay-Z over there doing it too. He doing it. What's the difference? What's the difference? Colin Kaepernick is attached to one, and he ain't attached to the other. LeBron James did what he did in the NBA on behalf of Colin Kaepernick and the rest of them folks in the NBA. But that's how he built. He cut like that. It ain't just about the money with LeBron. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing, man. You know, the title of this podcast is Jay-Z, the NFL, just business or selling out. Many people gonna look at selling out as a negative because they saying, well, man, he ain't doing nothing for us or for Colin or for the community. So I might say, yup, I agree. But then let's take it back to the 60s. Let's take it to the civil rights movement. You take somebody like A.G. Gaston, who didn't get out there in March. He turned up to be a multimillionaire, selling insurance, funeral home. You know, he was vertically integrated. But when Martin Luther King and them was the ones going to jail and getting hit, it was A.G. Gaston who was bailing them out. It was A.G. Gaston who was letting them come stay in the hotel free of charge. It was A.G. Gaston who was making sure they had what they need because he had the money. You see what I'm saying? Everybody played a position different. Now, if you a total coon, which we know Jay-Z ain't no total coon because he'll tell the white folk to fuck off, then that's a problem. But at this stage in the game, at this level of the game that he playing in, you got to ask yourself, what's his agenda? And is his agenda going to benefit the masses? Most people say no. I say that it might just do that because why? Him and Meek Mill over there trying to get prison reform. Now he just slid in and doing something with the NFL. So that's a relationship now where he can speak. And then white folk going to listen a little bit because they like Jay. You understand? He over there doing some other stuff. He got the minority interest in the Brooklyn Nets. So it's a different kind of protest. It's a different kind of game that might be played. And I'm saying you all got to look at it from different perspectives because we holler racism with emotion. We don't holler racism for the need for wealth and power. See, wealth and power is what you should be aiming for. Racism is about racing for the tools, resources, and the necessary needs to empower one group over another. Well, our group ain't never been empowered, and we need to be empowered. So you emotional about shit that Trump do. Why? That's who he is. Figure out how to get them powers. Figure out how to get in the White House so you can tell that white boy what you need to do, what he need to be doing, which he's done some things quietly and publicly that we all say, oh, okay, but we ain't buying it because we don't believe it, because we know the other side of the game. You ain't never say you apologize for the Central Park 5 and you was partially responsible for them boys going to prison. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's that type of game. It's that type of behavior. Y'all want Jay-Z to stand by you. You want Jay-Z to be who you would be. He not cut like that. Don't matter. Fuck what he own. Go get your money. Then you can go and protest for Colin. You can make a deal with the NFL and say, man, this is what we need, and I want Colin Kaepernick to be a part of it. You can put your 2 cents on the table and become that guy or that girl. We have to take a look at this situation for what it is. Because at the end of the day, sometimes selling out might be how you actually get the business that you need to get so you can get to where you got to go. Everybody that cheated on the test one time or another in their life. So they could do what? Pass the class. Did it make you a bad person? Did it make you less informed? Did it make you less intelligent? No, not really. You just playing the hand that you was dealt because you knew that you needed to make a move in order to get the other end, which was the benefit. You did. We got to look at this thing differently and stop getting emotional about every time somebody do something that you don't like. Jay-Z ain't no politician and he ain't no social activist. He is not a leader or he speaks for the community. Ain't no point in tripping. He got an opinion. He said it. He entitled to say what he want to say. Charlemagne the God who said they cut part of his statement, whatever that statement was, it doesn't really matter. Everybody want to holler house nigga. But when you say house nigga or you say sellout, then the question I would ask is, let me see your resume. What have you been doing before Jay-Z got to the table? Got to see the resume. We got to see what you've been doing. We got to see how you've been moving. You understand what I'm saying? So he might not be a sellout. He might just be a businessman. As he said, I'm not a business. I'm a businessman making moves, playing the hand that he was dealt. Because why? He might be like A.G. Gaston and be that dude that's shoveling millions across the way. He got 21 Savage, a lawyer, for 21 Savage being getting ready to be deported. 21 Savage didn't have that bread. Jay-Z got it. Prison reform. Meek Mill, Jay-Z. Now he in the NFL shaking hands and held elbows. You gotta understand that everybody play the game different, man. So this Cool Water, the Digital Dope Man, leave your point of view on the podcast. Express yourself, say what you need to say. Final point, I don't think he exploiting the black community because you can't exploit us because we already being exploited. Being exploited. That's what the gentrification is about. That's what the real estate debacle is about. That's what they've been doing. They started doing this when I was in high school in the 90s to take back urban America and take back the inner city so they could get back control of it. Jay-Z wasn't popping until 95. You see what I'm saying? It's not nothing new. You got to study the game. You got to understand what game you playing so you can get out the emotional and start putting in the work. Hey, man, this Cool Water, the Digital Dope Man. And check me out at earshiphopdead.com. Look for me at the digitaldopeman.com. Please leave your comments. Say what you feel. Say what you mean what you say so we can build on this topic, man. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.